Yesterday I watched a video on the internet with a gentleman saying that the police in the Keith Scott shooting were planting evidence. And watching his video initially, I was on the same page with him. I'm like, hey, it looks like the cops are planting evidence, so I wanted to do my own video to kind of go through in slow motion what is going on, and maybe we can all come to the same agreement. So that is what I'm going to do. All right, so we've got this officer in the red shirt, and he is pointing on the ground right now. And we see the black officer in the back. It looks like he's putting his gun up. He's holstering his gun. We've got the guy in the red pointing, and we see that the black officer has no gloves on. And look at the ground. There's nothing on the ground right now, and the black officer is pointing down at Keith Scott, and we're not sure what's going on, but the officer in the red is just standing there, and so we've got that. And then we see him reach into his pocket, and it looks like the black officer is grabbing some gloves from him, or something. He's grabbing something from him. We don't know at this point, but right now it looks like the officer has some black gloves, and then the wife pans away, and we see something drop there in the corner. The officer in the red, let's watch this in slow motion. We see some shadows drop against the black officer's pants, and something drops on the ground. And from this angle, it totally looks like a gun, but we don't know for sure. So, no gun, or whatever that object is, and an object on the ground. So we can totally, from this angle, it totally looks like a gun. Nothing on the ground, something is on the ground, for certain. Alright, so playing the video at full speed. And then wife pans over, and we see that officer in the red picking something up, and the black officer dropping two things. So slow motion, here's the officer in the red picking something up. The black officer looks like he's struggling with gloves to me. And then he tosses something to his left. Tosses two things to his left. And to me, those look like gloves, not guns. And it looks like he is putting on another pair of gloves. And then we see the officer in the red reach and put something in his back pocket or his cargo pants or whatever he's wearing at the time. Looks like he's putting something in his pants. And he's just folding something down. And he's just standing there. Now, so we see him picking something up, and to me it totally could be a gun, but we're not sure. So now the video is at full speed, and then in the corner of the video you see the black officer pick something up, both of those things up. Now we're going to slow this down again, and we're at 10%. 10% video speed. And that black officer has just picked both of those objects up. And we're not sure what he's doing with them. But that's totally what's going on, is he just picked up two objects. So we've got officers dropping things, throwing things, and picking them up. And then the video ends. Okay, so I don't know if the officer in the red was planting stuff. The video quality isn't that great that we can zoom in enough and say, yes, that's a gun, no, it's not a gun. We do see an officer throwing something. We see him picking something up and putting something in his pocket. We see the black officer dropping two things. And my thing is that, and I'm not a cop, but If something is on the ground in a crime scene, then it should stay on the ground and it becomes part of that crime scene. So, with that being said, if the officer in the red was planting something, then he should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And if the officers around him knew that he was planting something, then they need to be prosecuted as well. So I'm going to read something that I printed off from the International Association of Chiefs of Police, and it is the Law Enforcement Oath of Honor. On my honor, I will never betray my badge, my integrity, my character, or the public trust. I will always have the courage to hold myself and others accountable for our actions. I will always uphold the Constitution, my community, and the agency I serve. I think the key words here are integrity and character and accountability. So that officer needs to be held accountable for his actions. And in order for us to have more faith in our police force, the officers that know other officers are doing illegal shit need to turn them in. Hold your other officers accountable for their actions. There are good officers out there. There's quite a few good officers. But we are only seeing the shit that happens with the bad officers. The bad officers are the ones that are killing people and trying to cover it up. So if we had more good officers holding those bad officers accountable for their actions, then we wouldn't have the issues that we're having right now. So my plea is for all of the good officers that are out there, please start holding the officers that you know are doing illegal shit, start holding them accountable. That's it.